So very often people feel we're so compatible. And then they get married and they find, why did I think we were compatible? You even have about the same needs, and you've discussed that. But the way you're going to fulfill those needs is pictured within you, and that way may be way different from person to person, and usually is. So out there in the world, he goes on to say, anytime we feel very good, we're choosing to behave so that someone or something or some belief out there in the real world has come close to matching a picture that we got inside of that person, thing, or belief. Whenever we feel good and we're having this wonderful time, chances are the world out there that we're experiencing has come close to matching something in our quality world. As young love, very often, all this excitement about being together and the thought, we're a perfect match because we like the Beatles and we believe in green philosophies together. Turns out that's about it. But you don't know unless you discuss things and find out, what do you think and feel about this or that? Anytime you feel very good, something out there has matched up with something in your quality world. This is wonderful. This is what I want from life. This is what I expect life to be. What could be better than this? Because you've already decided inside that that would be a wonderful thing to happen. And here it is, happening, or close to it. Has come close to matching a picture of that person, thing, or belief in our world. Something out there fits. So I'd like you to think, if you would, 3 marvelous times. You were out there, you were experiencing life, you felt very good. Try to determine what was it out there that matched what was in you. What out there matched something from your quality world? Can you figure out what that was? This is really valuable to do because you can begin to understand how to better reside in this outer world and how your quality world is such a big factor in whether you're ever going to be happy. Okay, so I'd like you to think, and if you got a pad and pen, write down 3 such marvelous times when you're somewhere or with someone, and this is just great. Consider what was the connection between that outer thing or outer person or outer belief and something inside your quality world. Let's take a few minutes, pick out 3 such marvelous times. something in me just wanted to have people who are interested in yoga, being together with them, sharing the joys of yoga and of life. It's just wonderful that very often what we have inside in our quality world happens out here. It's just wonderful. Yoga is about how to make that happen more and more through making better choices. Gotta blow my nose. Okay. He says something pretty startling. Think about quality worlds, though. About persons, about things, and about beliefs. Sharing similar beliefs, similar attitudes. But we've got them down in there. We've been working on them for years and years and years. So listen to this. This is kind of mind-boggling. Throughout our lives, we will remain in closer contact with our quality worlds than with anyone else we know. That's what's going on inside. Throughout our lives, we will remain in closer contact with our quality worlds, what's going on in here, than with anyone else we know. So they're quite important, I was asked today, why can't my sister and I communicate? Well, he would say, quality worlds are different. But we're siblings, Quality worlds are different. What you're wanting and expecting from deep within, what you think would be ideal, is different. And you've been thinking that way for a long time. And that's the problem. Well, I'm going to talk a lot more about this. But quality worlds is a beautiful way to understand the differences between people and also how to relate to people better, because they're basically kind of, I can't exactly say enslaved, but they are profoundly affected in everything they do by their quality world. And the way they value life and the way they value other people, what's in their quality world. Okay, so time for, any other comments? Quality worlds, fascinating way of dealing with it. Mystics say subjective life. What's your subjective life? And what is your ideal subjective life? Because subjective life can be also your fears and horrors. So they say, what is your subjective life, your ideal subjective life? And then, let's see, there are some other people who talk about that. What is psychiatry? What is your fantasy life? And there are other ways of getting at it, but I love his term, what is your quality world? And recognizing your quality world. It's such an influence on everything you do with other people, but also whether you're ever going to allow yourself to be happy. Quality worlds. Oh, gee. Now I got another thing. But no, it's not another thing. It's one of the main things about you. Your quality world. One of the main things always been there. You wouldn't be here if you and I didn't share a lot of good quality world experiences, or quality world Shangri-Las. To us, there's a lot of Shangri-La involved here. Okay. I'm going to leave that subject and enter another one. And then I'm going to come back to quality worlds. But you won't be able to leave your quality world. It'll be with you all the time. And very often when you're being severe with somebody, it has to do with your quality world. And when you want to dominate somebody, it has to do with your quality world. And when they're trying to dominate you back, it has to do with their quality world. And when you wish everybody believed what you believe, it has to do with your quality world. And when people are out bombing themselves and taking all kinds of innocent civilians with them, blowing themselves up, it has to do with their quality worlds. A lot of quality world stuff going on. Just think about it. It opens up a whole area for understanding people more, but also working out your problems. Personal problems, relationships. Okay. There are two more great ways to harmonize and release the latencies in the spine and in the chakras. And these are highly recommended and very helpful. So to get rid of these latencies, which are tendencies to various karmas, they're stored in your chakras, in your spine mainly. Your whole history is stored there. So chanting is a marvelous way to release these latencies. Chanting, especially with drums and clapping, frees these latencies from the chakras. And also dancing while chanting. And also dancing and chanting help develop devotion. That's a wonderful bonus as well. So it's a marvelous thing to just enjoy some chanting and clap along and sing along. You can move vigorously, or you can just be very still in the Sushumna and maybe not move at all. Just enjoy, though, get it going by moving, clapping and singing and dancing, and then just kind of everybody's on their own. And I thought we would just do that, since it's a beneficial thing. Also, sound surrounds us like spirit. Music is harmonious like spirit, so it gives you a sense of what spirit is. In yoga we talk, it's so important to understand Leela. Leela is this wonderful concept that Ramakrishna emphasized, but so did Krishna. The idea of Leela can mean a drama, can mean a play, and the idea is that this world is a drama or play of God. Mainly a play between good and evil, for example. So that's one use of the word Leela. Leela is also a sport, kind of a joyful contest between good and evil and our higher nature and our lower nature and all kinds of possibilities in Leela when you think of it as sport. The other term that we use for Leela to describe it is dance. That life is a dance. And in yoga, we hopefully do our dance with God, a dance of life. And we learn how to dance through life and hopefully become a perfect dancer. We start out, of course, doing clumsy dancing because we're not harmonious in body, mind, and spirit. And then there's also tentative dancing. Due to our fear and low self-esteem, we dare not dance the dance of life. We do not let the joy of life happen to us. There's chaotic dancing with a partner, stepping on feet and knocking people down, that kind of thing. We don't integrate and interplay with our partner, so it's important to become a better and better dancer. Both in inner yoga, the harmony of body, mind, and spirit, and in outer yoga, the way you serve in the world, the way you live yoga in the world. Think of it as a dance. Dance well, joyfully, energetically, gracefully, freely, beautifully. Dance is God's partner. The idea of Krishna and Radha. Krishna represents the infinite spiritual awareness, the infinite spirit itself. And then Radha represents the individual soul dancing with Krishna. So that's the idea of a beautiful dance, the individual soul dancing with the beloved Lord, Radha and Krishna. Also dance with humanity. The idea in back of chanting is victory to spirit, victory to nature, victory to the infinite soul, victory to the finite soul. The idea of Radhe Govinda Jai is, again, the individual soul dancing with the infinite soul in interplay. Sita Ram is the same idea. The spiritual energy within us rising up the spine and interplaying with the infinite spirit, which is housed in the crown chakra and the two nature of the body and the lower faculties, dancing with the higher faculty of spirit residing at the crown chakra. Victory to spirit, victory to nature. Sita Ram, Radhe Govinda Jai, Radha Krishna. There's an idea here of the individual soul awakening and accepting the invitation and dancing with the infinite Lord forever. Infinite dance, the infinite joy of devotee and God interplaying with one another, dancing together forever, lifetime to lifetime. Secretly in my house, I do a lot of dancing. It's fun to sing to God and dance. I hope your house sees a strange sight of you twirling and dancing with God. Spiritualizes your nervous system, does many good things. We have a heavenly time to just sing and dance, and we brought in these musicians specially for this occasion. And they're really, really good, and they're energized and ready to go. So you feel free to sit in a nice mood, but I'd like you to start out, I recommend, just get the sense of dancing and allow yourself to dance, because it's so good for your cells, it's good for your karmas, it's good for your chakras, it's good for the whole being, providing you feel comfortable with it. And I now stop the torrent of words, and we have fun. Just have fun, gang.
Radhe 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 Radhe
Radhe Govinda Jai, spirit and nature dancing together, spirit and nature dancing together. Victory to spirit, victory to nature, victory to spirit, victory to nature. Radhe 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 Govinda Jai, Radhe 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 Govinda Jai, spirit and nature dancing together, spirit and nature dancing together. Victory to spirit, victory to nature, victory to spirit, victory to nature. Radhe 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 Govinda Jai, Radhe 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 Govinda Jai, spirit and nature dancing together, spirit and nature dancing together. Victory to spirit, victory to nature, victory to spirit, victory to nature. Radhe 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 Govinda Jai, Radhe 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 Govinda Jai, spirit and nature dancing together, spirit and nature dancing together. Victory to spirit, victory to nature, victory to spirit, victory to nature. Radhe 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 Govinda Jai, Radhe 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 Govinda Jai, spirit and nature dancing together, spirit and nature dancing together. Victory to spirit, victory to nature, victory to spirit, victory to nature. Radhe 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 Govinda Jai, Radhe 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 Govinda Jai, spirit and nature dancing together, spirit and nature dancing together. Victory to spirit, victory to nature, victory to spirit, victory to nature. Radhe 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 Govinda Jai, Radhe 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 Govinda Jai, spirit and nature dancing together, spirit and nature dancing together. Victory to spirit, victory to nature, victory to spirit, victory to nature. Radhe 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 Govinda Jai, 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 Radhe 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 Govinda Jai. Let's just be still in this beautiful mood for the next few minutes. I'd like to thank our beautiful musician devotees for leading us in such a glorious dance. So beautiful, so beautiful. What an atmosphere. Wouldn't you like to live in this atmosphere all the time? It's so beautiful. Make yourselves comfortable. Hate to say anything, disturb the peace. Don't disturb the peace. So, according to my list, it's time for me to do this. 2 different worlds. We live in 2 different worlds. I just like to open with a song if I can.
We like it.
The idea about choice theory, thinking again and again. What are my choices here? What have I already chosen? And is there a better choice? The idea of striving to get more and more free of external control, because society tends to put external control on us and we tend to just accept it. Very valuable to consider, how may I stop trying to do control on other people, because it creates so much of the misery of the world. Do you think people have in their picture of a mate, yes, and I get to be bossed around for the rest of my life. Ooh, goody, goody, goody. Nobody's got that in their quality world. Nobody. But it seems to happen all the time. People think, now that we love one another, we can tyrannize one another with mutual agreement. It's too bad. There's a lot of external control going on. And there's this whole idea that we're controlling primarily because of what we got in our quality world. What we're thinking. And we are often thinking, we know what's right and they don't, and we should inform them and try to make our way happen, you know. So it's really a wonderful way to approach the problems of life and the problems of the world. To understand, you know, we have choices. What's a better choice? We also have to understand what's in my quality world and what's in your quality world, you know, because that's very often governing the way we treat one another. And if there's a lot of misery in the world, and there is a lot of misery in the world, tragically, it's because of collision. Worlds in collision, quality worlds in collision. So, in a happy marriage, the man and woman have a quality world which is thinking and focused on many similar things. There's a kinship or a friendship about how to live and what to do with life and with the relationship. And it's a beautiful thing because in his mind, he knows that in his wife, many of his needs are going to be met. Not only needs to receive, but what he wants to give. And in her mind, if it's a marriage that's rich and deep, in her quality world, she's thinking, with this man, my needs can be fulfilled, but also my needs to give and serve and love. Both feel in their quality worlds the joy of togetherness. They're just a part of one another, and they have confidence in one another that their needs are being met and will be in the future. It's a beautiful thing. There's a kinship of quality worlds at work. If you are happy to work there, happy to be the boss, happy to be the employee, and you both enjoy the situation, and you're confident your needs have been met and are being met and will be met. Your needs not only to receive, but your need to give, your need to be appreciated, your need to be fairly treated. You have quality worlds that are consonant with one another, harmonious with one another in a happy workplace. So there are all kinds of ways of understanding why are people happy here. It's because in their quality world, this is pretty much what they think is really important. and they're in agreement about what's important. Okay, so there's just so many ways that we could focus on that, like happy corporations. Forbes looks at the corporations every year and discovers they care about one another and they help one another get fulfilled. So you could read Forbes magazine about how beautifully people can work together. It's just a beautiful sight. Similarly with nations, similar quality worlds. Just any group, just what's the quality world situation? And you'll find something very beautiful where people are getting along. But then there's a lot of misery in the world, and it's because people have different quality worlds, and they make choices to try to impose their quality world on other people. Let's take a marriage that's unhappy. In a marriage that's breaking down, the man or the woman is saying, you know, I'm not getting my needs fulfilled, and I don't think this person can help. Or this person isn't helping me fulfill what I think is most important in my life. And that other mate is probably thinking the same thing. You're entirely different. I thought you were going to help me fulfill my needs, not only to get, but to give. You don't appreciate them. You don't appreciate me. Whenever I try to do something, you say you want to do something else. So what happens is the marriage starts to break down. And the marriage is pretty much over when one or two of the mates, both or one, says, you know what? I'm taking you, he doesn't say it consciously, she doesn't say it consciously, but I'm taking you out of my quality world because I know you're not the person with whom I can fulfill my needs. You're not the person. So maybe I'm going to put somebody else in there, or maybe I'm just going to say, this is over. So a divorce means somebody's been taken out of the quality world. One person at least said, you're out of my, I just never think of you now as fulfilling my needs. You just never do. It's not worth it to try to get you to fulfill my needs. It's just not worth it. You know, too much misery, too much suffering for too little. And often it's both parties. Why did I ever think you could help me fulfill my needs? You know, just because you were nice to me during the courting phase, in which we both had emotional and physiological needs. So the question of a therapist, of Dr. Glasser, is this mate still in your quality world or not? You know, because usually by the time they come to him, somebody has been kicked out of somebody's quality world. No, you're just an obstacle in my life. You're not a help in my life. You're an obstacle. The divorce bells ring. Duh, duh, duh. Yeah, okay. Same thing in the workplace or on the board of directors. People come together, form a company. They've got this wonderful quality world that they think they share. But then in terms of how they're going to bring this all about, there are differences. Necessarily, we're different people. We've formed different histories. So then you get boards of directors doing everything they can to stop the other person, block the other person. It's like in Canada, the idea often is between the Francophones and the Anglophones, you're not going to be happy unless I get my cut. And you have a nation. You're not going to be happy unless I get mine. So can you progress? Very hard to progress. It's a very difficult trudge through human misery. But board of directors, you know, I want my way, based on what I know is right inside me. And so you have all kinds of problems. Boards of directors, if they're successful, they have so many things that are similar in each person's quality world that they're gung-ho. And they're gung-ho about one another. I want you and I love to have you in my quality world because we can work well together and get the job done. But when there's a breakdown, then you may be even on a board of directors and sullen, thinking, my needs are not going to be met here, but I can sure prevent other people from getting their needs met. And you have just a tragic situation and people entering step by step into lots of misery. This morning, Stiglitz is talking about the bailouts, and Stiglitz won the Nobel Prize in economics recently. No, not recently, but he's a Nobel laureate. And he was saying, we're really mucking up this crisis, based on his professional opinion, because what we did, the bailout, we gave tons of money to people in charge of banks in the hope and the promise that they're going to lend it out. But they're afraid to lend it out. They're more concerned about the shareholders that trusted them enough in the first place. They want to protect their shareholders. They want to keep their staff. They want to keep the bonuses up. They don't want to lend it out. Now, the bailout was, we want to save the economy and keep it bustling along, and that'll involve having the banks keep putting money out there. And the banks say, thank you very much for billions and billions and billions, but we're afraid to lend. I mean, would you lend to these people today? So there's a total disconnect, different motives. Like the bank owners have the quality world, we're going to try to do no more harm to our shareholders, and why should we lend money when it's so risky? And the Congress is saying, you got to lend money to keep the economy alive. Don't you understand? That's what this money's for. There are two different quality worlds there. The bankers feel one way, So it is. You look at politics. There's the far right. If the car company, there's the right and then there's the far right is, we're capitalists. If Ford and Chrysler and General Motors can't make it, the necessary thing, let them go bankrupt. What's the problem? But then the people, right, center, and left say, but that loses 2 million people's jobs. That will be a blow. That's 1 job in 10 in this country. Somehow there was a figure 1 in 10. I forget exactly how that works, but it influences 1 job in 10 in this country. It makes it all more difficult. So that's 2 million jobs. So people are saying, well, we can't just, because they've mucked up the economy of their business so badly, we can't just let 2 million people suddenly be without jobs. We've got to try to save their jobs. The quality world of the capitalists on the far right is the system will heal itself. Banks that have misbehaved, they should go bankrupt. Car companies misbehave, go bankrupt. That's the natural healing that capitalism brings. Let everybody who did it wrong go bankrupt. And then people in the center and the left say, but look at all the mayhem. You want to have a major depression, like maybe 25% unemployment? No, we got to try to save you miscreants who have done such a lousy job of running your companies. We got to save you because we got to save millions and millions of jobs. So you got the quality world that saves the jobs, and there's just going to be too much suffering, and you got the quality world of capitalism works. Let everybody go bankrupt who deserves to go bankrupt. Quality worlds in collision there. There's a housing crisis, a lot of quality worlds falling apart there through collision, and the pieces fall down. So hopefully, as a result of this retreat, you'll look more at quality worlds, or use this new term, because people are behaving based on their quality worlds, and they're trying to fulfill in the outer world what they got in their quality world. In religions, just about, especially Christianity and Islam, the view is, if you're really going to be with God, you've got to become a Christian, or you've got to become a Muslim. And there's no other way out. Now, other religions don't necessarily say that. In fact, Australia said, if that's what you're going to say here, don't come. We don't want people coming to Australia who say that their way is the only way and everybody's got to do their way. We're not interested in you. You just create misery. So don't come. Don't immigrate to our place. So depending on the view, okay, and then you can also have in religion, this place is just temporary. This is a test. You'll go to a real life next. Depending on how you live this one, you get to have a heavenly, very important position, and all kinds of treats, So, it should be not much problem to just surrender your life, give your life, die for the cause and a better situation down the road. And we authority figures assure you that this is true. And so do the scriptures say. And the scriptures are from God. Quality worlds.